Ladies and gentlemen, it has been exactly 1 year since I've done the last channel update, and thus, as it's become tradition, I asked you for questions, and today I'm going to answer some as well as talk about the channel for a bit. So let's just get into our first topic. What is the future of this channel? And that's something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. And the answer is, I don't really know. I don't know what I want to do with this channel because, quite honestly, it's kind of been a rough year. If you don't know, exactly 1 year ago, I did a face reveal on my birthday. You know, once you do a face reveal after being a faceless YouTuber, you think it's going to be a seamless transition. It turns out it's actually not. It's very different. It's very different in how you edit, how you frame things, how you have to learn how to be in front of a camera as opposed to just being in front of a mic. It's such a different experience. And I have no regrets for doing it. And I like what I'm doing much more now. But it was a learning process. And as a result, I think some of the video quality for some of those earlier videos on camera absolutely suffered. And if you stuck with me all the way through, I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you and just kind of helping support the dream, so to speak. And now, strangely enough, I actually think I'm fully comfortable in front of a camera, and I wouldn't swap it out for anything. It's kind of my favorite part of the process at this point. But back on topic, the future of this channel. I'm thinking about pushing away from gaming just a tiny bit. I'm sure if you watched my previous video, you heard me talk about it a little bit. I am distancing, or not necessarily distancing myself, I'm branching out from gaming a tiny bit. I'm doing a video on something, believe it or not, TikTok adjacent for this next video, and I like how it's coming along. It's going to be very funny. But admittedly, with gaming content, I'm beginning to feel the amount of ideas that I could make a video on beginning to slim. And I don't like that feeling. I really only like to make a video on something that I just feel like almost like an electric passion for. Something that I hear an idea, and instantly I have like an idea in my head of how the video looks, jokes that immediately come to mind, things that'll be interesting about it. And right now I'm in a weird slump where I just don't have any of those for gaming. And that's not to say that I'm done with it. Of course I'm not. You know, I'll be coming back to it the second I get an idea that I think's worth doing. But until that happens, you know, you can expect a bit more variety on the channel, which in my opinion is a good thing anyway. The next thing is, well, this office may not be around for forever, which is a damn shame, but it just might not be. What's going to happen? I don't know. The set may change dramatically. It may not change at all, but I am very proud of this set. I've talked about it before, but I actually built this entire set. This wall had to be entirely sanded down, but I'm sure I have B-roll footage of it now, because I don't get to show it off in videos that much, but I have a poster of my favorite film of all time, John Carpenter's The Thing, a poster for Silent Hill 2, my favorite game of all time, and then a poster for Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, which is sort of an alternative cover, and I think it's a really cool fucking poster. So I'm very happy with how, you know, sort of the camera view has turned out. I think it's good. I've learned so much, and I've had such good friends to be able to teach me, you know, how to operate lighting, how to, you know, set up a camera, how to do the settings, and how to set up a mic. It seems like it would be simple, but there's so much that goes into this stuff, and just understanding the settings and how they relate to each other has given me so much respect for proper filmmakers. And honestly, complete side tangent, I've been loving movies recently so much, which is weird because I used to not be a movie guy at all. I used to be an avid enjoyer of shows over movies just due to time digestibility. But I've been sort of going through a lot of the classics, things that I never got to see, things that people recommend as like things that you should watch before you die. And recently, the films that fucking blew my mind were Taxi Driver, a Scorsese film, Goodfellas, another Scorsese film, a film called Heat, which if you're a Grand Theft Auto fan, please, for the love of God, watch the movie Heat. It is the film that inspired the Grand Theft Auto games so much, and you'll have so many moments where it just clicks. It's like, oh shit, this mission was a reference, this character was a reference to this movie, and you just never realized it. And it's such a great movie too. So back to the future of the channel. Things are going to be the same style as they are now. I kind of like this style, but I'm going to be shifting, I think, the topic a bit more. And now, of course, I'm going to answer your questions. I put this comment underneath my latest video and you guys replied, so we're just going to go through them. From Bryn Silversun, Was the FBI agent bit legit? Yes, it was. That was a bad day. And it's a scrapped video from this channel that I was going to do explaining it that I just never did, because it's so embarrassing. So I'm just going to tell the story now. And I may make a full-on dedicated video based on this. So I'm just going to put the cliff notes, because it's one of those things where you realize, like, in the moment, it's horrible. It's one of the most, like, stressful things you've ever dealt with. Afterwards, it's such a funny fucking story to tell people. So over a year ago, I posted my first video on bad games, which was for my my video, I played the worst Wii games ever made. One of my most proud of videos, 100%. And in that, one of the final bits I did was I constructed a little IED, which I still have right here, one of my prized possessions. This is Patty the Pipe Bomb. And, you know, there's a funny story about that. When I was buying the ingredients, obviously, I went into Home Depot and I walked up to the guy in plumbing because I knew roughly where the parts would be. And I was like, hey, man, this is a crazy thing to ask another human being. But theoretically, if I wanted to make a pipe bomb, what precisely would I need? It was a 10 to 15 second stare down. That was bad. That was just bad. And then obviously, you know, in the video, it's like a classic Dagger bit. You know, it's stupid as fuck. I am making a cookie recipe the whole time. That's all it was. I just put the chemical names for what all the cookie ingredients were. I was just making cookies, and I, you know, comedically put this mixture into the microwave, pull out just a fully ready-made pipe bomb. And somebody thought it would be funny to put in an anonymous tip to the FBI, who reverse traced the video, figured out where I was, put it on somebody's desk. And that voicemail I got that on, it was like 10 a.m. on a weekday. It was probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I didn't pick up the phone call because I'm a normal functioning person who doesn't answer random phone calls from people I don't know. And what happens is, you know, I see an instant voicemail. I'm like, oh shit. Maybe it's just like my doctor or something, someone who needs to talk to me. And I listen to it, and it's that fucking voicemail, like, Hayden, this is Detective Blank from the local FBI. And I'm like, oh fuck. What? This is a real thing that's happening to me. This is a real thing that's happening to me. And I call this gentleman back, and he is the coolest motherfucker you've ever talked to. I wish, you know, like I said, I want to make the full video. There's a much longer version of that story that has so many funnier lines to it that I want to go through one day. But to answer your question, yes, that was absolutely real. Here's another question from Yay248. He also learned a bit of Japanese from classes and as a result of watching anime. How did you learn? Also, where do you normally find the games that you review? Are they physical, or are they all emulate? Jesus Christ, I can't read. Are they physical? Are they all physical, or are any emulated? Thanks, looking forward to the next video. Well, thank you very much. I learned a bit of Japanese through a lot of osmosis. I watched quite a bit of anime. I've watched anime since I was like probably 10. Like I've been on this shit for a long time. I was fucking bullied in middle school for watching anime, but that's just because I live in a country town. That's a side point. But I also, you know, I made the rookie mistake of, you know, Duolingo, which doesn't teach you fucking shit. Like, it teaches you vocab, and if you're diligent in using it in tandem with other things, vocab is useful. But, you know, there's so much more you need to learn. But if you're learning any language, the best piece of advice I can give you is to learn all of the basics as much as you can from just book learning and reading, and then take one episode or scene from a show or something and just watch it on repeat over and over. And you will get to a point where what you're hearing is no longer so fast and unintelligible that you can't process it. You've actually begun to internalize what things sound like and kind of predict the sound of the word. It's just consistently familiarizing yourself with one set of words. But to summarize, did a little bit of Duolingo, did a lot of osmosis-based learning stuff. It proved to be kind of effective, but admittedly, it's not something I prioritize anymore. Rebate Man asks, will there be a part 2 of more DS games? Absolutely not. The DS video was fun. I enjoyed it. There is not enough interesting DS games to really justify a part 2 of it. There's plenty of weird DS games out there, but I gotta be honest with you, like, out of all of the games that I've played, the ones I enjoyed the least were easily the DS games. Trying to format the DS footage into a 16:9 video was a goddamn nightmare. It just sucked. It just sucked. And no, there will not be a part 2, but the good news is there will be more videos in the Bad Game series. It's easily my favorite to make. Black Cat's Rule asks, do you eat lemons raw? Not normally. I got to admit something. I'm not a huge lemon guy, but I have before, like, bitten into a lemon, and it's not like an experience that I hate. It's just, I don't know. It's not something I go out of my way to do. Mrs. Goobert Snoobert asks, gay or European? If I had to pick, gay, 100%. I don't think you understand my vitriolic hate towards Europe. And you might ask, why do you hate Europeans so much? And that is a great question that I do not know the answer to. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is gonna do it for this year's channel update. If you have any more questions for me, please leave them below in the comments. I will try to get to them in whatever videos I can. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel, please go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and a subscription below. That sort of stuff really helps me out. But of course, no one can force you, and I will see you all in the next one.